Hi, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is with you. I hope you've had a lovely week. I'm really looking forward to getting dug into today's topic. I feel like I haven't had a sit down like this in such a long time. So today's topic, I'm going to get straight into it. It's something that I speak about over on my Instagram quite a lot, and that is reverse diets. Something that is starting to come up a little bit more, I think, but it's still not spoken about enough. And I do have quite a lot of people come in and asking me about my own journey and asking about a reverse diet when I've popped it on my story, or I've explained a client's journey and said they've gone through a reverse diet. And if you're feeling a certain way, it's maybe what you need as well. So today I'm going to be using one of my lovely clients as an example to show you why reverse diets are so necessary at some stage throughout your journey. I think the best place to start with this topic is fat loss, because usually people who go through reverse diets typically have been in fat loss or are on lower calories or have tried staying on lower calories for a period of time. Now, if you want to start your fitness journey and go through a fat loss phase, there is nothing wrong with that whatsoever. If it's going to make you feel healthier and happier, then absolutely go for it. But the one thing that we have to remember is a fat loss phase is just that. It is literally just a phase, and it should just be one part of the journey, usually the initial stage of your journey. Now, a lot of people will get into a calorie deficit and not really know where they need to go from there. They won't have phases mapped out. They won't have any idea as to how long they need to be in a fat loss phase for. And that can lead to being on lower calories for a long period of time, too long, or getting to the end of your fat loss journey and then with no real idea as to where to go from there, reverting back to square one over and over. So this is where reverse diets come in. Now, when my client Joanna first started with me, she had been trying loads of HIIT workouts weekly. She had been trying to slash her calories right down, and she wasn't getting to where she wanted to be. She kept going around in circles. She was always low on energy. She was always craving foods. She never really felt like she was getting anywhere with her workouts. And this is where I came in. So this was the beginning of Joanna's journey. For anyone who goes to the effort of getting workouts in and trying to look into the foods that they're eating, of course you're going to want to feel good in your own skin, and you're going to want to be able to show off your hard work. And if you're not seeing the results for the work that you're putting in, then it is going to be pretty disappointing and deflating. So with Joanna, straight away, what I said to her was, we need to actually bring your calories up. So for example, if you at the moment are trying to follow 1,400 calories, you get to the weekend and you're going to fall off that, because that's not going to be that maintainable across a weekend if you have social events on, unless you have the correct support to work around that. Now, for a lot of people who try to bring their calories down and do a fat loss phase by themselves, will bring calories to a 1,400 mark and find that really unmaintainable across a weekend period. So it might look like Monday to Friday everything is spot on, but you get to a Saturday and a Sunday and the tracking goes out the window. You may be having bits here and there that you aren't putting into your food diary, and before you know it, that 1,400 across the week that you're trying to aim for comes up to around 2,000 with the weekend food. So you're bringing yourself out of that deficit because of how low calories you're trying to eat. So with Joanna, straight away, I gave her a more maintainable calorie goal to be working towards and achieving. Now, I'm going to pop her progress up here for her first 12 weeks, and you can literally see step by step how much her body was changing across those 12 weeks. It was incredible. And what we'd done for Joanna is make sure that she had calories that were assigned across a 7-day period. And she was making sure that she was following that, not just Monday to Friday, but a Saturday and a Sunday as well. And any social events that she had come up, we worked around it. We also switched from HIIT workouts to weightlifting. Really, really important. Now, building muscle and building strength for a woman is something that I'm especially passionate about. As we get older and our hormone profile changes, We want to be making sure we've got strong bones and strong muscles so that we remain independent and we're not so susceptible to certain conditions and diseases like osteoporosis. Another reason why weightlifting is so important, especially if you want to maintain a lean physique, is because muscle is metabolic. So a lot of people will think, oh, cardio is what's going to help me achieve fat loss. No, if you want to achieve fat loss, you need to be making sure that weightlifting is the primary part of your workout program. So straight away, we popped Joanna onto 3 weightlifting workouts a week, and she loved it so much she went up to 4 pretty quickly as well. And this was the result of the end of her fat loss phase. So you can see she had incredible results from this. This is usually the point where people will say, right, okay, I'm done now, I'm happy with where I'm at, and they won't have a plan to move forward. So if Joanna did that and she left her coaching experience and said, yeah, I'm done, I'm good, I'm going to do this by myself now without any reverse diet or plan to move forward, chances are she would have reverted right back to square one, or she would have felt like she would have to stick to the low calories for a period of time, which is not going to be sustainable. In a fat loss phase, there's a big difference between it being maintainable and it being sustainable. And a fat loss phase is not going to feel easy enough, or it shouldn't feel easy enough for it to be sustainable. And if it is, it's probably not working. You want it to be maintainable. So you want it to be achievable for you and for your lifestyle, but eventually that's going to mean it's going to come to an end. So for Joanna, her fat loss phase needed to come to an end because she had gained so much confidence. She'd lost a lot of fat, as you can see, and it was now time to build some shape, some definition. And if you're there thinking, yeah, I want to achieve a toned physique, like I just keep doing cardio, I keep remaining in a calorie deficit, this is where things need to change for you. For Joanna, I then popped her into a reverse diet. A reverse diet is when you slowly and gradually build your calories back up. The reason we do a reverse diet is because our body will adapt to what we give it. So across a period of time, if you're on pretty low calories, your body is going to adapt to that, meaning that's eventually going to become your maintenance. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be eating 1600 calories or less for the rest of my life. And if I eat any more, I'm going to gain fat back. I want to be able to get to the point where my body adapts to eating a little bit more whilst maintaining my activity levels and my overall health. So that's one reason why we do a reverse diet, to be able to maintain the hard work that you have achieved for yourself. Another reason would be to bring you into a building phase where you work on building muscle and building your strength up. Now, Joanna wanted to go into a building phase, but we also had periods at maintenance. So what I did was bring Joanna's calories up over around a 6-week period initially. I don't just bring calories up willy-nilly for clients unless they need calories brought up from that point forward. So we'd got to a point when calories had been brought up gradually for Joanna, 50 calories to 100 max per week, where her lifts were going up, she was improving in the gym, she was feeling the progress, she felt like she was becoming more defined, more toned, more muscular. So we kept her calories there for another few weeks until it got to the point where she felt her appetite increasing again because her body had adapted to the calories that she was now on. She was building muscle, therefore her metabolism was improving. She was getting more hungry. She needed a little bit more food to continue with building more muscle, building more shape. So as you go through those weeks then, I was able to look into Joanna's progress and assess when she needed a calorie increase. And that's exactly what we did. And you can see the difference here from the end of her fat loss phase into her building phase. You can see she has a lot more shape. She looks a lot stronger. So a lot of people will fall into the trap of thinking you have to continue eating a low amount of calories to be able to keep the fat off and appear leaner, when really you probably need to go through a reverse diet and you probably need to learn how to weightlift properly, gain some strength, gain some shape. And after initially dropping fat, if that's what you feel you want to do, by building muscle up after that, you will appear more defined. I've said it once and I'll say it again, you will only ever look as lean as the muscle mass that you've got. So if you haven't been through a set building phase, or you haven't worked on your overall strength and you're just continuously keeping yourself in a calorie deficit or eating low calories, you're never going to get to the point where you feel lean or any leaner than you already are now. A lot of people can get quite afraid at the thought of going into a building phase, and when you go through a reverse diet, you don't necessarily have to go straight into a building phase. You don't have to go into a building phase at all, but you have to at least bring your calories up at some point after a fat loss phase or after lower calories for a period of time to make sure that you are looking after your body and fueling it properly. For Joanna, she went through a building phase for a set period of months, and then she thought, you know what, I'm really happy here right now. I want to sit at maintenance, enjoy life over the summer months, and not really have to think about being in a set phase and looking to achieve physique changes week on week. So we then brought her calories slightly down so that she's sitting at maintenance, not a calorie deficit, still fueling her body properly, and now she's going to be able to maintain the muscle mass and the shape that she has built. And as you can see, she has not gained any fat. We've been able to go through a reverse diet, slowly and gradually increase her calories up to the point where she was in a slight surplus to build lean muscle tissue without any fat. For you, you might not want to go through a building phase just yet. You might just want to come up to maintenance, and that's absolutely fine. But hopefully this topic has given you a little bit of an insight into how important reverse diets really are. And if you are someone who has been stuck on lower calories for a period of time, you find yourself going through restrict binge cycles and not really being able to maintain your calories throughout the week and the weekends, this is something that you maybe want to think about to be able to level up that bit further in your journey and see the progress that you deserve. This week, I have just designed a guide on how to navigate weekends. So if you're someone who does struggle with this and you do find yourself falling off because of the weekends, I go through everything that you need to be looking into to help with that consistency, to get you through your phase successfully. What I'll do is I'll pop a link below and you can download it completely for free. And if you want to speak to me directly and ask for any help and advice on your journey, head over to my Instagram at Kaylee_evolve and I'll be happy to help. I hope you have a lovely day and I will chat to you soon. Bye!